y'all, Thea here from That Sweet Tea Life, and today we're taking a look at dry brushing. Here you can see a piece that I've painted gray and then gone over with a white dry brush technique. It really brings out all of those tiny details, the brush strokes, and even all of those little chips and nicks and imperfections that give your piece character. Here we have our piece painted in Authentico Vintage Paint in the color Brut. It's completely dry, and you want to make sure that your piece is completely dry as well. This prevents any sort of muddling or blending of the colors. You really want your dry brush color to stand on top of your base coat. Here I'm taking my bright white paint, and I've just barely dipped the tips of my brush into the paint itself. I've pulled the brush against the can to pull off any excess, and then taken my paper plate, you can use paper or anything you have laying around, and wiped off everything I possibly can off the brush. When you think you have gotten everything off of there, go ahead and try again just to get a little bit more off. You'll be surprised at just how much you're able to get with such a small amount of paint. A few tips to make your dry brushing successful. Make sure you're using a larger brush rather than a smaller brush. One that covers a bigger surface area will tend to give you more consistent results. Another thing is make sure that you've done a test board so that you're able to see just how your colors are able to contrast against each other. If you pick something too close together, you may not get the results you want, or if you pick something that's too far apart, you may not get the results you want either. Make sure you're getting the look that you really want before attempting to do this on your piece. Remember, less is always more. You can always build up. You can always add different colors, but it's a little bit more hard to take away without undoing everything that you've already done. So when in doubt, make sure that you have just the tiniest amount on your brush and that you're just very, very lightly going across the edges. Now, what do you do if you use too much paint or you don't like the color and it's just not going the way that you want it to? The best thing to do is simply go grab your base color, and once the dry brushed area is dry, you want it completely dry so you don't end up blending and creating a new color. But once the area is dry, you're going to want to go ahead and paint another coat of your base color over the area that you want to start over on. Once your base color is dry, you're welcome to go ahead and begin dry brushing again. As you're dry brushing, feel free to go in different directions, especially whenever you've got details and such that move in different ways. You want your brush to kind of catch on to those little itty bitty details that if you only go in one direction, it may not be able to catch. Allow the area that you've dry brushed to dry before you seal anything off. Of course you want to do this anyways, but you also want to kind of reevaluate your piece and see how it looks. Oftentimes, after you've dry brushed and everything dries completely, when you go back to look at it, it takes on a slightly different look. Reevaluate before you seal. Alright guys, I think that's it. I just know that your dry brush piece is going to turn out amazing. So go give it a shot, make some mistakes, and figure out your own technique. I hope that you've enjoyed this and has made your painting experience a little bit better. Until next time.